Hi, and welcome to our kitchen at Govinda Valley. My name's Jahnavi, and today I'm going to show you a dish that I've called Tofu Maharaj. It's my version of a dish you can find in India called Shahi Paneer, which is basically royal paneer. Paneer is a fresh cheese, and in this type of sauce, it's given a royal treatment. Now, we can make this recipe really simple by breaking it down into parts. We've got the body of the dish, which is tofu. I've sliced that really small. Small pieces will soak up more flavor from the sauce. And then eggplant, I've tossed that in olive oil. I'm going to roast that in a hot oven at 200. It'll take about 20 minutes to get browning on the outside. Then we've got the sauce. I'm using two different types of tomato. I've got prepared passata out of the jar for convenience. And then for freshness of flavor, I've blended up some fresh tomatoes. Spices are going to give a depth and richness of flavor to the sauce. I've got star anise and bay leaves as whole spices. And then we've got our powders, which are giving more mild spicy flavor. So we've got coriander powder, chili powder, turmeric powder, and a little bit of fenugreek powder. For creaminess, to contrast with our tart, fresh tomato flavor, I'm using coconut cream. You could grind up any nuts that you have, really. You can soak nuts for a few hours, grind them to make a creamy paste, and that will do the same thing. It's just basically what coconut cream is. It's a nut which has been soaked and ground to make a cream. Now, to make this sauce, which has an incredible flavor, is actually a really simple process. It's basically infusing oil with the flavor from the spices and then adding our tomato and our creamy element. So I'm going to heat the oil. Now, traditionally, this would be made with copious amounts of butter. To avoid that, we're using coconut oil, but again, just to get the richness of flavor, I'm adding some toasted sesame oil. Not enough that you'll really taste the sesame, but it's just going to add another layer of richness to the flavor. So oils go into the pan. Okay, so we've heated the oil to a medium hot, not too hot, because part of the deliciousness in this dish is the infused oil, and we want to have the spices sitting in that oil to gently bring out the flavor, so the oil's not too hot. Okay, so I'm heating the star anise and the bay leaves, and when you start to get that aroma that you can smell, that special star anise flavor, that's when you know that the flavor's developed. It's coming out into the oil. So now we can add our powder spices. I'm going to reduce the heat a little bit because we're not so much toasting the spices as just getting the oils out of the spices and into our cooking oil. So we don't want too much of a color change. When the color starts to change, which is now, we're going to add fresh tomato first. Okay, now that tomato puree has been cooking for a few minutes on a high flame. I want to evaporate off the water from the juice and turn it into a nice paste. So we can see that happening there now. It's a much thicker texture than we started out with. Now we can add our passata. Now this dish has quite a lot of turmeric in it. You can see there's turmeric. The golden glow is spreading over the kitchen. This is a good color tea towel to use when you're cooking with a lot of turmeric. Okay, so our sauce has thickened up beautifully. You can see that beautiful spoonable texture. It's nice and thick. We can add the tofu. The tofu only really needs to heat through. That's going to pick up all of that flavor from the sauce. And our eggplant is ready to take out. Now, this is what you're looking for. A little bit of browning on the edges, and we want them all to be really super soft. None of that raw white, well, it's a tiny bit there, but they're all going to be really buttery soft and cooked all the way through. That's beautiful. So I'm going to toss that in there as well. Now remember, the traditional dish is just paneer or fresh cheese in tomato sauce. Making it vegan, we're using tofu, but we still want to have the same rich flavor. So the eggplant is just to add that extra flavor of richness, deliciousness. Now that is all nice and hot together there now. And we can add our cream. The cream and the salt is our last ingredient. I'm going to pick out our whole spices, and that's our dish finished. You can see soft vegetables in a very succulent, tasty sauce. Now, what are we going to serve it with? Now, you can serve it with rice, but when I've had it in India, I've always had it paired with fresh naan bread. Now, naan is made in an oven with hot coals. It has that beautiful flame roasted taste that just can't be replicated. Once you've had it like that, you just can't imagine it otherwise. And now we've just got to try our finished tofu maharaj, our royal tofu. I'm going to plate some up here and give it a tiny garnish of some fresh coriander. It's gonna make it look so pretty. And then I've got some fresh naan that I actually just made here, and we're gonna put that on the side there. Now we have the magical pairing of the tofu maharaj with the fresh bread. This is the way that it wants to be eaten.